Hey there, it's Tony Butler. And today we're going to talk about something I have been asked about a lot over the years, and that's how do I manage my time? I run multiple businesses, I teach Brazilian Jiu Jitsu several times a week. I publish enormous number of articles every year, and I edit even more. And while I do it, I stay fit as well as spending as much time with my wife and kids and friends as I possibly can. It's a lot. And in this video, I'm going to give you some of the tips and tricks I use to make it all work without going absolutely insane and crazy and just hitting that entrepreneurial wall and burning myself out, okay? But before I do that, please click like on this video, and if you haven't done so yet, please follow this channel. I'm giving it all away, decades, business and marketing advice, as well as some tips and tricks in personality, some personal development, productivity, and mindset. So, okay, let's get into it. There's one idea that has helped me be more productive and do more than anyone thought possible in a given week or month. And that's to break out of the myth of work-life balance, okay? So work-life balance, this whole idea, it's a modern day idea, but it's a myth. It does not exist. You only have one life. You don't have two minds or two bodies where one goes to work and the other lives your leisure and personal life. You've got one life, and you've got to blend that life together, okay? Mix and mash it. Put everything in one. Sometimes you work and sometimes you do leisure activities. Your work and your personal life both have things about them that are important at any given time. So what you want to do is focus on what is most important and block out everything else. Now, what do I mean by that? So first, you're going to identify what are the most important and impactful things you should be doing today in this whole week, okay? Do those things. Fill your life up with those things. Important. I'm not saying busy. I'm not saying urgent. I'm saying important, okay? You got to stop letting small things fill up your days. Let your days just fill up with nonsense, things that other people could do for you, okay? Now, here's the master question. You're going to ask yourself the question, is what I'm doing right now my most impactful task? If it's not, then stop. Rethink your priorities. You don't want to get everything done. Now, let me say that one more time. You don't want to get everything done. You don't want to answer every email. You don't want to answer every phone call. You want to get the most important things done at the right time and in the right way, which means you must stop doing some things. Your don't do list is as important or maybe more important than your to do list. There has to be things you're not going to do. There's got to be things that you're going to prioritize, and they're going to fill your day, and everything else is going to suffer. That's going to be okay, okay? So what does that mean? Prioritize your vital functions and tasks. If something else needs to get done and it absolutely is important in some way, then you need to find a way to delegate it to someone who can do it for you. Let me give you an example, and this just happened to me, and this is real. Okay, last week there's a big windstorm in Montana. 2 trees, they blew down on one of my rental properties, 2 giant trees. They took down some fences, they damaged part of the neighbor's yard. It's thousands of dollars in damage to fences and a little bit of property damage, and the cost of removing the trees. The first quote that came in was just to cut, from this one company, just to cut up the 2 trees and remove the debris. $2,500, okay? Now here's the thing. It just happens that in my younger years, I cut down maybe hundreds, thousands possibly of trees, okay? I learned how to run a chainsaw. I spent years cutting firewood and then clear cutting large oaks in Connecticut to transform the landscape. You know, we wanted to grow a garden, so we cut down some trees. You know, we wanted more lawn, so we cut down trees. And I did it all myself. I was a nut, okay? But now my life's very different. I've got a full schedule of client work. I'm marketing my business. I'm teaching. If I want to save a few $100s to cover my insurance copays, I could, but it would cost something else in my life, okay? And more than that, it's an unnecessary risk. I haven't run a chainsaw in a couple years. My muscles aren't what they were. I'm quite a bit older. You know, I'll be tired and sore. It takes energy to do it, okay? And this is not just me. This analogy and this story of the trees, it's everything in your life, okay? How much money I could earn by directing my energy elsewhere besides cutting down trees and doing other things. It's important, okay? I could be finishing the next round of edits on my book. I could be spending time with my family and recharging my energy levels. I could be exercising. I could be stretching my back. I can be doing all kinds of other things. Okay? Cutting trees is not in my core genius. There's a new great book out about the same idea. It's by Dan Sullivan and Ben Hardy. It's called Who Not How. Wonderful book. I definitely recommend it. It's marvelous. It's got a powerful message. If you want to expand your life and give yourself thousands of more hours, you've got to learn how to collaborate, how to delegate. Okay? Learn to delegate many of the things you're trying to do that are not part of your personal genius. Delegation and collaboration, it's a superpower. Think about the trees and the $2,500 quote. Now, these are big trees. Imagine for a minute it's going to take 20 man hours to cut the limbs off the trees, buck the trunk up into manageable sizes. I mean, it's a giant. I mean, it's probably 40 or 50 inches in diameter. Okay, grind all the limbs into chips, load the chips in the truck, get all the wood hauled off. I mean, it's a big project. And that doesn't even take into account, time to care for your equipment, sharpen the saw, care for the wood chipper, sharpen the wood chipper, put gas in everything, care for your truck, insurance costs. The quote comes out to just straight working hours. It's less than $125 an hour. And that doesn't even include the prep time, maintenance, and then their business costs like advertising and marketing and, the cost to do all the estimates of the jobs they don't win and their travel time. What would it cost me to do this job myself? Well, it might very well take me more than 10 hours a day because I'm not a professional. So it's like, let's say conservatively 25 hours of my time. So almost half a work week. I won't be able to work as fast or as efficiently as these guys that do this professionally. They might be younger than me. They're definitely going to be in better shape. Working the equipment's doable, but there's a learning curve. Not to mention the amount of energy and the potential that I'm going to hurt my back or cut myself with a saw because I don't do it that much. Paying for a professional to do this work, it's a no-brainer. There's no universe where doing this job makes any financial sense. In fact, if I don't hurt myself, it's still a loss. My day-to-day job pays more than $125 an hour. And if I'm cutting wood, I won't be able to do my other work. And this is an easy example, but for most people, especially those who are brought up in blue-collar homes like myself, where mowing your own grass, taking care of your own car, doing everything to save a couple of bucks was normal. It's a way of thinking, but it's also very, very limiting. It's not wrong, but that's the old generation. As an entrepreneur, I can't think like that anymore. I have to think of my time and the money that I have to buy more time as an investment. If you want to accomplish more, you've got to think differently. Money is a way to buy time from professionals, from other people to help you. You should absolutely be buying the time from smart people to do as much as you can. Nearly everything that's outside of your core genius should be delegated. And you're going to say, but Tony, I don't have any money and I don't have a team. You've got a team. Well, I didn't start out with a team. You got to start small, okay? And let me tell you, I know exactly where I started. This is going to blow your mind. So start out with something you hate doing that you can get someone else to do cheap. Like for me, it was changing the oil on my car. When I was 18, I was just getting out of high school. I joined the Army as a mechanic. I went to school to be a mechanic. I knew everything about how to be a mechanic. When I was in my 20s, I did every bit of maintenance on my car, and I hated every minute of it. The very first time I took my car in and I paid for someone else to do an oil change, I felt like I was cheating. I was wasting money because I could do it myself. Maybe for you, it's hiring someone to mow your lawn or to do the shopping or hiring someone to make sure that you use the time. It's get that time back. Don't squander the small amount of time that you have. After that oil change, I felt like a cheater, but there's another thing. I felt great. I made an appointment. I was in and out in half an hour. Didn't have to do all those little steps, buy the oil and the filter, prepare my tools, jack the car up, drain the oil, get dirty, all that. Dispose of the oil afterwards. It was like magic. In and out, done. I read a book while I did the work, okay? I literally bought time back. I extended my life. Now these days, I don't do much more than turn the key and put in gas every once in a while. I don't even change the bulbs in the car, okay? It's not that I'm lazy. I'm focusing on other things. Are you still mowing your lawn? Hire a local kid to do it. Save the time and energy and create a job for them. Hire an assistant, and then I want you to find creative ways for them to take things off your plate. If you can't afford to hire a full-time assistant, buy 5 hours a week, buy 3 hours a week. Start with 1 hour if you have to. Okay? Car maintenance, shopping, sharpening your skis, taking your dry cleaning in. Everything can be outsourced. And if it can be outsourced, it should be on the table. You should be thinking about it. This is not so you can spend more time in front of the TV watching Netflix. It's so you have the energy and the time and the focus to spend that time on what drives revenue in your life and business and what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, okay? You don't want to be a jack of all trades. Don't try to figure everything out. It's a losing formula. Hire people who are professionals. They'll do it twice as fast as you can with 10 times the quality. So I'm telling you, this is the formula for success. You can hear it from me. You can hear it from a lot of self-made people. This is it, okay? If you want to 10x your productivity, stop doing this small stuff and start delegating. It will change your life for the better, okay? And of course, if you're not interested in learning how to build your own content system, you can outsource that. And it includes, clearly defining the tribe and identifying the urges and emotions that drives into action. You might consider checking out the Primal storytelling system. That's what I do for a living, okay? There's nothing else like it in the world, and it's a proven formula for delivering great results. So hey, before you go, I just want to leave you with something. If you're struggling to build that system out for your business, you're not sure where to get started, you want a little extra direction, you can get some free help from me. Share your link to your website in the comments. I'll take a look. I'll give you some ideas on where to start on a value theme, free of charge. You can also message me on Instagram. It's Anthony L. Butler, or you can shoot me an email, anthony@candouideas.com. I look at all my own messages. This is something that's really important to me. I don't outsource it, so it's really going to be me responding. So take advantage of it while you can, while I still have time. All right? Until next time, this is Tony Butler. Be well.